about this
regular.
YG album, man. Let's just get
Let's
into it, man. Because you go first, birthday boy. This cat's birthday, by
yeah,
the way,
it's my
man. I
birthday.
forgot,
Yeah,
my man's
yeah.
birthday. It's born day today, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You go first, birthday boy.
I'm gonna jump on into this now. YG, I want to say this is his second album.
Okay.
Follow up to his first West Coast classic. You know what I'm saying? Still Crazy. No, that's Still Brazy. My bad. My bad. No disrespect. He's following up My Crazy Life. He did say My Crazy Life, not My Brazy Life, but I believe it was with a K.
Mm-hmm.
So let it be understood. So going into this album now. First of all, I got into this album late this week. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I had my own things I had to work on this week, so I got into it about Thursday, and you guys had already kind of been talking on it. So I got into this. I was kind of scared. I'll be honest. I wasn't a big fan of My Crazy Life, so I didn't know what this album was going to turn out to be. And I got into it, man, and I was pleasantly surprised, man. It was heavy West Coast album. Like, man, it felt like I was cruising down Crenshaw, going to the Slauson swap meet, listening to this album, just the whole way. You know what I'm saying? I had to put on my my khakis and some Jordan 1s. You know what I'm saying?
Button all the way up to the top.
Button all the way up to the top. You know, just to get out there, man. But this album was very good, man. If nothing else, it was a very cohesive album from start to finish. It never had that jarring or jolted feeling where the music just kind of broke off or the sound changed up. Like, he really layered the tracks together from one to the next, and let you know like what this is, man. Hey, at the end of the day, you was gonna know you listen to somebody from the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You was being bull bombing collective. You know what I mean? He was holding no punches as far as who he was, and I like that, man. It really felt like an authentic, a genuine album. Now, the one knock I will say to it, man, it had some struggle bars. The West Coast guys, man, I know that you guys love your set and all of that stuff, man. Stop putting the homies on. All right, the homies suck. The homies suck. Man, on that Black and Brown song. Now, I appreciate the homie coming out here, man, and trying to speak on something positive, trying to bring some unity, amongst the people, speaking out on injustice. Dog, you suck. Like, that was the worst. That was the worst of the worst. Like, when I had to hold back the laugh. Like, when he first came on that track, I'm like, yo,
I thought it was a joke.
Yeah, I'm like, this guy's horrible. Like, man, get him out of here. This is this ain't gonna work, man. And it was a lot of struggle bars on there, but this album, I felt like it told the story, man. If anything was gonna be a reflection of what I would imagine it to be coming up in impoverished areas of LA in 2016, this is it. Like, this gave me that feeling of, you know what I'm saying, Snoop and Dre, in the early 90s, man. This had that gin and juice feel to it, man. It had nothing but a G thing feel to it, man.
It's 2016, okay.
Now, I mean, it had the current, you know what I'm saying, kind of flavor to it, but it was reminiscent of that. It gave me that feeling again, you know what I'm saying? Just that West Coast. I'm not big on West Coast rap, and I mean, you could say Kendrick is a West Coast rapper, but he doesn't embody that sound so much. Mm-hmm. If you listen to Pimp a Butterfly, though it has a lot of West Coast elements to it, like, that's just a completely artistic album. It's not, you know what I mean, just that one particular genre, because I mean, you're getting a lot of funk in there, you got R&B, a lot of grooves, man. Like, it was just a very cohesive project, where this is just straight West Coast, man. This sounded like 61 Impala, man. You know what I'm saying? Just straight up. You loking out, or you know what I'm saying, you bicking back being boo with the homies to this, man. Now, the one thing that really kind of came to my mind on this album, this is R&S. Like, I'm not gonna say that on this channel, but just R&S, this whole album. And it was good, man. The features were poor, but the production was really solid.
Hold on, slow down. What's R&S?
We'll talk about it offline.
Okay.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Okay.
So,
right.
The album, man, very cohesive, man. Just a good project from start to finish. Like, when I got back around to the first track, I hadn't even realized I was finished with it, because I could just let it play on repeat, man. It was a really solid album to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, please don't put the homies on, man. They don't deserve to be on. Mm-hmm. They suck. They will never make it. They need to find something else to do in life, because this rapping thing ain't for them. And you know what? The West Coast can be like that. You know, a lot of their rappers aren't technically good. And I mean, maybe it just sounds good. Maybe it's just, their West Coast vibe. Like, I mean, take a guy like the Mr. Fab. You know what I'm saying? He ain't a good rapper. You know what I mean? He
Right.
sucks.
Right.
He sounded like a feature on this album.
So does YG suck?
YG doesn't. YG doesn't suck. Like,
Really?
he was an alright rapper. Like,
Okay.
he had some struggle bars on there, but when everything I heard from him, bro, I believed it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, it sounded like he was
Yeah.
talking about his real life. And
Definitely.
he wasn't, I don't want to say he was really glorifying negativity so much on this album, but he was just kind of speaking on the real.
Mm-hmm.
And I always appreciate that. And with that, I would have to give this album, if I was going to review it, for a rating, I would say I'd give it probably about 83, 84.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a really enjoyable album. I'll listen to it again. I'll probably listen to it all summer.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
That's what's
go
up.
next?
Go ahead. Yeah, do your thing, man.
Because I know Nate Ayers got a.
I know it's gonna be
got a lot to get
passionate.
off his
Yeah.
chest,
Yeah, go on. Hey, we don't know, man. Go ahead.
First, I don't like West Coast rappers really. So going into this album, I kind of was already prejudging it. I do like the West Coast sound, like the production. I do like the production on this album. I thought it was solid, but I'm so ingrained in the East Coast and lyricist that I look for that on every album. Maybe that's just a fault of my own, and that kind of skews my opinion of some albums where the bars are severely lacking. This album, there was one song that just really got to me, and I actually lost sleep over it. And I gotta pull it up here. Twist My Fingers,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna tell you why. Oh man, why am I saying the outro in my head? The chorus. Get a girl to sing that, man. That's not a dude's chorus. You should not be harmonizing on that. And I don't know who he picked to do that. I don't know if that was him himself, but that really just set with me the wrong way. I did like FDT. FDT was okay. It was bearable.
Yeah.
I think I would rather him, because he does have a good story. I would say that he does have a good story. I'd rather him just sit down and talk with me about his life than make an album. And maybe he can talk to me about his life, just us at Starbucks with some Gouda bacon sandwiches and some chocolate mocha on ice.
We lived on those things.
Yeah. But if I had to be non-prejudiced, if I was looking at it from a West Coast perspective, this album would probably be like an 80. But since I bring in my own bias, I gotta drop it down to man, I'm gonna give it a 60. I'm gonna give it a 60.
Ooh, man,
My-
20 points? Yeah, you knocked him on 20 points.
if I grew up in the West Coast, man, I would, like you said,
That's how I
would
feel
listen to
about
this
it.
album.
Yeah.
But like, since I was so ingrained in the East Coast, I gotta drop it those 20, man.
No, that's fair.
I gotta.
That's fair.
Okay. Well, all right. So let me just start this by saying, like, when I listened to this album and I made it about halfway through to the song right before the Drake song, and I deleted this album off my phone because I was so upset at how bad the album sounded. Like, I really didn't understand. I thought it was a joke. I really looked at it and I'm like, okay, my hitters. I got that song before, and that was like his big hit. So I knew who the guy was, and I knew that it was going to be a very, very, very strict West Coast album. I knew it was going to be that way, but I didn't expect for it to be to the point where I'm not going to join a gang. Okay, YG. When I left, I wanted to go get some red chucks. I want to start sea walking. I want to start doing all kinds of gang affiliated things, but I realized I'm a dad. I'm not in the gang, so I couldn't do it. But I erased the album off my phone.
Yeah.
I stopped listening to it. I messaged both y'all. Hit us up in the group chat, and I said, listen, I can't do it. I'm about to not review this album because I just can't make it through.
But the culture called you.
The culture made me go back. I did do it for the culture. I went back and listened to the second half, and it does pick up after the Drake song. And Drake is a culture vulture at this point. I'm so to the point where Drake is. I'm sorry, he's a culture vulture.
He's going to need to switch the flow up. I ain't going to lie.
He's gonna need to do something.
Yeah.
Okay. He's going to just gonna get into a fight or something. Just I don't know. But that's besides the point.
Well, I know we're doing that album, but talk to us about that real quick.
What's
Just
that?
Give us a quick synopsis
About Drake?
the culture vulture.
Because
Just real quick.
we don't know who the guy is. He's a Canadian. You know what I'm saying? He's a light skinned dude from Canada as a Jew. And so I don't know who he is. And the fact that he can get on, he hangs out with all these guys who are affiliated, like YG, The Game,
who actually lived
that life. Kind of like Chris Brown. I think Chris Brown does a bad job of that as well.
Yeah.
Which is weird to him and Chris Brown, but I think they both got hypnotized by those majestic buns of Rihanna.
yeah.
So that's a whole other thing. But back to YG. So I couldn't make it through it, man. Like I really was like about to throw up in my mouth listening to this album. And
Man.
the second half of it does pick up a little bit, but I really don't get the allure of it. I remember, and I watched his interview on the Breakfast Club, which he kind of sounds like a smart dude, and I do give it up to the fact that he is truly West Coast. That is really his thing. But
Yeah.
I've listened to a lot of West Coast albums, and I did not leave it thinking like I don't ever want to listen to an album again. Like even Nipsey Hussle, who
Man.
is strictly West Coast, I like Nipsey Hussle because he can actually rap. But YG is like some of the things he was talking a lot of slang that I just didn't know what the hell he was saying.
Yeah, that's honest.
And that's what got me, man. And like I got the whole boom back, boom, boom. Like he replaced all the C's with B's. I get it, he's a blood, and I can respect the fact that that's their life. I don't live that life, so I don't know what the heck he's talking about. But also, I do like the fact that The Chronic was a good album, but I like The Chronic left in 19 whatever it came out. I don't want a new version of The Chronic coming out, which is what this was trying to be, and that really just got to me, and I couldn't make it through it. I don't know. It's not an East Coast roots thing because even though I do love East Coast music, I like West Coast music as well because I love Kendrick's album. But Kendrick's album even had songs kind of like this, you know. So at first I kind of was like, okay, this is going to be the West Coast themed type, West Coast heavy album. I mean, heavy song, and then it'd be something new. Give me something like just regular. No, it stayed West Coast the entire time.
Yeah.
You know, and I just didn't want that. I wanted something else. I know there's other layers to YG other than the gang affiliated stuff. I know there has to be other layers to him, and I think that he can get away with it on this album because it was a. I think at this point people are just scared of him too. So the still Brazy thing, he definitely is a little off. You know, he is definitely off, and I think that people are afraid to tell him the real, to be like, you know, I don't know if this is really what you need to go with 100% of the time. You know what I'm saying? And that was my point
Is
of
he
it.
off because he replaces his C's with B's?
No, but that's a gang thing.
Okay.
Like where he's from, like he said on the Breakfast Club interview, that's just regular for him. He doesn't even think about it. He just does it. And I get that. I do like the fact that he stays true to form with that, but it's just not my type of album. I acknowledge it as being a good album, but I acknowledge it also as not being an album that I like. You know, because like I wanted it out of there. I couldn't wait for the album to end. But I also left it being like, okay, he has a message behind it because he has some good things he was talking about.
Yeah, he was trying.
He definitely was trying, but I just don't think it was for me, you know. And I'm on record as far as saying "To Pimp a Butterfly" was a good album, but it might have been for me either. Yeah. So I am on record for saying that too. So I'm not going to crap on it and give it an NA. I'm not going to give it a. I'm definitely going to. You know, I'm not going to crap on it and say it was horrible music because there's a lot worse music out. But I will say though that I just didn't get it. I didn't get because when Charlamagne sat down with him, he said, "Yeah, man, your album's kind of like a classic." And I literally wanted to turn the thing off, unsubscribe to the Breakfast Club, never watch an interview from Charlamagne ever again, because I don't see how you could do it. I don't see how you can acknowledge that album as being a near classic album. Because when you say classic, you got to think of Raekwon, you got to think of the Purple Tape, you got to think of, you know.
I think classic is heavy, but
yeah,
I did feel like
heavy.
it's like a West Coast classic. I can see this.
Okay, now see, saying that,
big record for the West Coast.
Exactly. Yeah. And if I lived in LA and it was like, and I lived that lifestyle, that probably would be the soundtrack to our life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's not my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can't really give it that. But being as much, I'm gonna tell y'all, man. Earlier I had a whole like a full couple paragraphs written out of what I was gonna say because I really hated it. But after I started opening my ears up a little bit more and listening to it more, and I started thinking about it in a mindset of if that's where I lived and that's where I came from,
right.
I just no way I could crap on it because he took a huge step and a huge risk
Yeah.
by doing it. You know, and that's one thing I can definitely give it. Just because we listen here, you know, at Games Music Life, we listen to a lot of music, and I always will love somebody who's not trying to fit the mold. Somebody who just creates their own lane and just tries to do it their way.
Right.
So I give him credit for that. But even with that being said, he gets a 65 for me.
Okay.
Okay? Because if it was really like, it was going to get like a 35. You know, it was going to get like a 35.
He was really about to give it.
Yes, it was going to get bad. And that was probably the worst album I've ever reviewed, you know, as far as that way. So I give it a 65. I give it a 65, 70. So I would bump him up with a curve like, hey, man, you turned your paper in. I might not like you because you're not from my side of town. I don't understand what you're saying. You start crossing out all the C's in your paper, but I guess I get it.
Yeah.
So I give you a 70.
Would he pass a spelling test though?
No.
If he did that?
Absolutely not. Okay. Because Lord knows if his girlfriend ever came and said she wanted to name their child Christian, the little boy would be confused because he called him Christian all the way up until he was old enough to understand.
Kids can't learn like that.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely not, man.
But you know what? Another thing that kind of made me like this album, like listening to it, this reminded me of every dude I've ever met that was like legit from LA. Like that's exact. Like it embodied them.
Really?
Like, yeah, I could tell he was really representing that thick. Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, to, you know, us, a lot of that stuff may be weird just because it's different, you know, the way that they do their thing. But
It's not so much weird. I don't think, because I think because of movies and stuff like that, we get a little glimpse of West Coast.
Well, see, to me, it's like weird because some of the stuff to us seems like it's kind of corny. It's like, yeah, y'all just a little extra, but you know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of it is genuine. You know what I mean? That's really who they are, what
Yeah.
they are. I never got the feeling that he was faking
So
it.
if
No.
we were there,
No.
we would probably be doing the same thing in his situation.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
would definitely
we
say.
grew up in that. Yeah, but I'll
Yeah.
tell you, well, then how does guys like Chris Brown survive then? Why does nobody
Man,
touch his
I
chin?
think that Don't Come to L.A. was about Chris Brown.
That's what I was about to ask you
Yeah.
about. I was about to
Even
ask
though
you
I
that.
will say, man, did Wayne get the ultimate pass? Does that mean like Wayne is certified official out here?
I think Wayne is just he's so put on a pedestal about everybody, like you said,
Yeah, he's so loved and
that
revered.
they pretty much just give him a pass.
But he's been dropping a lot of trash lately.
Hey,
though.
don't you
yeah,
speak
he has
ill
been
of
talking
Lil
about
Wayne.
dropping a lot of trash.
I'm not gonna hear this.
He has.
He's not. Man, his feature game has been
Kevin,
very
come
fire.
on, man. Get that love out of your body, man.
Listen
to put out some
listen
trash,
to M's,
man.
bro. Listen to M's by him and ASAP Rocky, man. Wayne went off. Wayne snapped.
He had a horrible verse on that YG album.
It wasn't great, but neither did Drake. Drake didn't have a good verse on there.
No, he didn't. You're right.
He
Drake,
needs to switch his flow. It's
Yeah.
time.
but Drake is becoming like a culture vulture, man. I hate to keep going back to it, but like one person that can be on an album like a song and like rap like the person they're with is Game, and I think he does a good job of that. But Drake is to the point where he's a Rastafarian, he's a West Coastian. He's talking about tings. That Drake album came and went because of that too. I can't listen to that. I can't listen
I
to
haven't
Tings.
listened to it again.
I only listened to the intro track and then I turned it off.
Yeah, man. Drake ain't been the same. He's getting exposed too, man.
Yeah.
They're talking about Party Next Door wrote like full songs for him,
I can
like
believe it.
cadences, everything, and then basically here, man, just do it like this. I'm sorry, as an MC, you got to do better, man.
Man, it's a different world out here now.
I can't give him a pass for that though, Kevin.
I feel you.
You know?
Feel you. I like the sound Drake. I started off not a huge Drake fan, but you know what I'm saying, since the sound has gotten a little bit more aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I've come around to it a
Yeah.
little bit more. Like it took me a while to embrace So Far Gone because I just don't want to hear a lot of
So Far
real
Gone's probably his
soft-
best project though.
It probably was, but it just I don't want to listen to a whole lot of soft R&B for whatever reason. I can't do it. I can't listen to a man just singing.
That's his fault though, man. He needs to pick what he wants to be. Stop switching lanes.
I think he can do both.
I think he can do both. Yeah, I was
I
gonna
just don't think he could be a hardcore rapper and a talking about tings
say. Yeah,
and singing too, man. That just made me
I don't
upset.
think he can
Man.
be. Yeah, he can't be a gangster rapper.
he's not a gangster rapper.
No, he's not a gangster rapper.
I mean, he just talk. You know what I'm saying? What any man would talk. Any
yeah, he
regular
popping
guy
his
would
stuff.
talk. Yeah.
I'm okay with talking your stuff, man. I just don't.
Right.
I
Cause you
don't
never
know.
hear Drake talking about what he gonna do to so and so and X and Y and Z, and you know what I'm saying. He ain't claiming no sets and all of that. Like he keeps
Chris
it
Brown is.
authentic.
I don't see how Chris Brown gets away with it.
Man, listen, it don't sound like he was getting away with it. That Don't Come to L.A. It sounded like a direct shot to Chris Brown.
Yeah, it
but
did.
Chris Brown got a lot of demons, man. I pray for that brother, man. I hope he finds his way in this world.
He looks bad every time I see him, man.
He's getting worse and worse, man.
Yeah, every time I see him, it just looks bad.
Yeah. But okay, so album for next week. Any recommendations? It was looking kind of dry. I got one in the sleeve, but I wanted to maybe confer, see what y'all wanted to
I
do.
didn't have anything. Go ahead.
Jay, anything you want to listen to?
Wale dropped a mixtape.
Jay, you got anything you want to listen to?
Nah, it's on you guys.
You know, we could listen to Wally World.
No, go ahead. No.
No, because the album I was actually going to recommend was going to be Terrence Martin. What's the name of this album? It's Velvet Portraits, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything of it. Like I've heard 3 Chord Fold. I haven't heard anything from Terrence Martin in a while, so I don't know
I don't
what
know
this
who
album
that
could be
is.
like.
Yeah, neither do I.
He's with Top Dog. Jay, you probably like it, man. He's actually a musician. I want to say he's a saxophone player, so it'd be more of be close to a jazz album.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we can do that. Or
can
you
do that.
guys sure you don't want to do this Wallard?
No, listen, I don't want to hear the whole. You'll be going.
I
off
wouldn't
on
mind
him.
trashing Wallard.
I actually do.
I wouldn't mind trashing Wallard
Let's
next
do
week.
the Wale mixtape.
Yeah, we can do Wallard, Wally
do it.
World. Man, we can get to Terrence Martin anytime because you know what I'm saying. We ain't got to worry about this being a new release, but this Wale, it's gonna come and go.
Let's do it.
So we need to get to it.
Wale.
Have we listened to? Hold on, Wale. Did we listen to any other albums by him?
No, we
Okay.
didn't do like More About Nothing or any of that stuff.
Okay, because that was a good album. You would have hated
Sure
that
was.
too. Hates Wale.
Yeah, Wale is garbage.
So we got Wale's new mixtape.
Yeah,
Yeah.
remember-
What's it called?
I forget. See, who could remember?
Blue
Wale?
Moon.
Blue Moon.
Blue Moon. But as always, man, everybody drink more water. This is Nadir, Kevin, and Jared. We out, man.
Out.
Peace.
Peace.